Indiana Jones, Indiana It's a podcast about Indiana Jones. Every movie, 1 minute at a time. Indiana Jones Minute.
Welcome back to the Indiana Jones Minute. This is the show where we are watching and discussing the film Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny 3 minutes at a time. I'm Tom Taylor.
I'm Pete. That's about 45 minutes too short, Mummert.
And I'm Gerald Christopher. You lost it, Porter.
Today, we are here to discuss minutes 31 through 33 of Dial of Destiny, and these minutes begin with Fuller tipping his room service waiter with that old chestnut, "You didn't win the war, Hitler lost it." And the agent on crutches then announces that they found Shaw, and the men leave Fuller to his meal. And we then cut to Indy and Helena back at the bar going down memory lane, and she reveals that she has just graduated from archaeology school and she's now studying the Antikythera. And she's got big ideas and lots of words and a map and a plan for Indy to have one last adventure. And he asks her why she wants to go after that thing that made her father go crazy. And I had a hard time, not a hard time, but I hear Fuller's line at the beginning here two ways. He either I always thought he said, "We didn't win the war, Hitler lost it," which I kind of like a little more. I think he says "you," but I always thought he said "we," which I kind of liked because it was like a little like, "Oh no, I've been here the whole time. I'm an American like you guys. I'm on your side, right? I made you rockets. I was never a Nazi. Forget that." You know, he's like ingratiating himself to like, you know, the American side.
Why is he?
Or something?
Why does he say this? Like why? Like, why is he, apart from telling the audience, the viewing audience, that he's still secretly a Nazi, why would he say this if he's a U.S. government employee?
I mean, this is one of those ones that the response is almost predetermined. People just yell, "Scoreboard! Scoreboard!" You know what I mean?
Do they? That's nice.
It's predetermined.
Yeah.
Yeah, you wouldn't. I mean, you wouldn't walk into that old trap of it's kind of like, "Oh, really? You want to sit down and talk about who won and lost?" I mean, yeah. You're like, no. I mean, you know, it's a you're in the column. It's a W.
Right, but he's making the point that I mean, we know that we already know that he wasn't into Hitler, or he thought that Hitler was a dummy,
you're right. He's making the point saying like, okay, so the ideologies were sound, and I'm still, you know, those are still my beliefs. That was just one guy who messed it all up. Mm-hmm. But don't think for a minute that we're, you know, Nazis, or that, you know, that ideology is not alive and well.
Right.
And it's standing in front of you right now, or about to eat its brunch in front of you right now.
Yeah.
Right. I guess that's what, you know, he's saying is this was, you know, this type of ideology, it was much larger than one man. Mm-hmm. That just happened to be a sort of side distraction from the path ahead. But it is very sinister. Now it's like, now, you know, I mean, now I'm in your country, and not only that, I'm renowned in your country, and I'm well thought of, and I am bringing Nazi Germany's ideologies in through the back door here.
Like, why? I mean, I guess this does sort of track with stuff that happens in the real world, where people like in positions of power do tell people what they're doing wrong just because they think no one's ever going to believe them. But like, perhaps that's what he's doing. But I still struggle to, like, why is he telling him that? Like, why is he revealing? Why is he twirling his mustache to somebody?
I mean, to us, he's twirling his mustache, but like, I think to the guy, to the waiter, he's the tail end of him being a jerk to him, and it's like, you think you won, you think you had a big victory, but it wasn't. Like, my stupid leader just failed. You shouldn't feel great about yourself.
So you think you just think that he was so offended by this guy saying that they won the war, that he couldn't help but blurt out, "Hey, I'm a Nazi."
It maybe not offended, but like, oh, that's so cute that you thought you won a war.
Yeah.
Good for you. Like
It just
he's
seems
being
weird
completely,
if you're part of Operation Paperclip and you come over, you kind of keep that stuff under wraps a little bit. Like you don't walk
Yeah,
around going,
well-
"Hey, but you know what? I'm actually a Nazi, guys."
unless you have a master plan to go back in time and make everything all cool for yourself and people like you. That makes a big difference.
You know, it's kind of like, yeah, he's I don't know, what's the word, a subterfuge or something for his own sinister beliefs.
He is. It's just interesting. He's
Yeah.
sharing them with the general public, like when he's like a director at NASA. Like it's an interesting thing.
Yeah.
Well, and it's
walking
like
around telling everybody.
It's one person at a time, which is its own different experience, as opposed to like, you know, the Third Reich as a government and this sort of monolithic thing, and they've been vanquished, and now you have this guy who's perpetuating that, but on a very, very personal level.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's thinking
makes you
globally and
think
acting locally.
he's. I guess so. Actually, that's why it's kind of like farm to table or whatever. But but it does. I think it does kind of work. He's mustache twirling, but there's letting you know like, oh, this guy's really bad. He's
Yeah.
not just the guy who kind of got swept. He's not just a Nazi bureaucrat type
Right.
guy. He actually is way, way worse than that. He's still going to
Yeah.
keep the,
Yeah.
whatever embers of the Nazi party is fading. He's going
Yeah.
to stoke
Well,
the fire.
And like
keep
Pete
it
said,
alive,
it's like
yeah.
he's in a position where he doesn't think anybody can stop him.
Yeah,
so
he
he may
he
as well
does-
be a jerk.
Right.
To this
Well,
guy.
I don't know if that's the case, but I think he feels like this guy that he's talking to is powerless, and no one in
Yeah.
1960
Yeah.
whatever, no one's going to believe this guy over him anyway. So
Right.
Well, and it's really dark because he's doing it from New York City. Like
Yeah.
it's like he's he's
on the day they're celebrating
infiltrated-
the moon landing.
Yeah, he's
Like
he's
this-
infiltrated your house. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah. He's on
But
top
I
of the
will-
world.
It might be surprising, but I'm not crazy about this movie.
What?
But I wonder if it would have been more interesting if they hadn't twirled the mustache this early. Like if they'd sort of left that as a little bit of a surprise for later.
It would be kind of like, so far, what we know of him from like the 40s, he is like a scientist and he believes in the Antikythera and he doesn't believe in Hitler. So yeah, you're right. Like if he just stayed as like okay, now he's over here in the States, he's making
Well,
rockets for us.
I feel
He
like it
could be
doesn't
like a
believe in
cool, weird
Hitler's. Not necessarily the way to put it, because I don't feel like it wasn't that he didn't believe in Hitler, it's that he thought Hitler was a bad.
Yeah, like Hitler failed
Like
and he saw it
he
coming.
lost the
Yeah.
war, but yeah.
Right. But he could, to your point, he could be, they could play him more as just like, oh, what's this guy up to? Oh, he's like a kind of nerdy scientist Nazi who's,
Yeah.
I mean, he's powerless, but he's doing weird stuff. Like, oh, he's chasing this dial. What's he up to? Like,
It could give us
he's not so
something-
purely evil yet.
Yeah, it could give us a little surprise later.
Mm-hmm. That's true. Next time.
Next time. It could be a Donovan situation.
Yeah, a little
Oh
bit.
yeah.
Which there are a lot of parallels that didn't happen to that movie in this section of movie. So I think that's sorry. I keep interrupting, Jerry. What were you saying?
Do you believe or do you agree with that sentiment that Hitler lost the war?
No, I mean, yes and no. Like he lost the war the way they did. Yes, I mean, I think eventually he was going to lose the war no matter what. But I think the way he lost it was partially because of his hubris.
He did. I mean, he did that whole thing. Didn't he do that whole thing where he's like, "I'm not gonna invade Russia."
Yeah, and then he immediately invades Russia, and then he like
He invaded
fixates on
Russia. Yeah.
Yeah, he fixates on certain objectives in Russia that have no real strategic value and that have symbolic value, and that
Like that whole where you like everybody's freezing.
yeah.
Like on the
Yeah.
and it's in the Russian.
Well,
invasion,
they stuck around in Stalingrad and they're like Moscow, like a lot of the things they did. I mean, Moscow made a little more sense, but they didn't make sense strategically what he was doing.
Sure, sure.
Two front wars always go really well, from what I understand.
How did Helena just graduate? Like, where did she graduate from?
Archaeology school. Yeah, they don't really say, do they?
Well,
But this is another miss.
Yeah.
This is another swing and a miss for me. Like, because this scene begins and Indy's looking at this picture of him and his friend and some young girl, and he says, "Where are we here?" And she kind of evasively says, "Oxford, in the garden." And I thought another thing that might have made this an interesting movie is if she hadn't been that girl in the garden, like if she's conning him.
Oh.
And I thought during a lot of this movie
Wow.
that she wasn't actually the daughter. And like there are a couple of things she says in this minute that make it seem like she's not, that she's like a con artist trying to get in, like say that's who she is. But the way she's kind of evasive to some of his questions, and then he says, "You don't remember the first time," and then she just completely ignores what he's saying. It's almost like, she doesn't remember because she wasn't there. I wish that had been another
He
little
says,
plot
"Don't you remember
twist.
the last time I saw you?"
Yeah.
Isn't that what he
Yeah.
says? Yeah.
And she says, "Remember what? These are the Alps." Like she's
Right.
Um,
And I think we find out what's going on there, but I agree, that could be, I don't know. I'm going to hold off judgment on that because on the one hand, it is a little confusing and weird, and your idea is intriguing, but I want to say that it works the way it works, maybe? I don't know, the way we have it here.
I also may end up loving this movie when I watch a little bit more of it. We'll see.
I hope so.
Well,
I want you to have a nice time, Peter.
Well, I've had a nice time regardless.
Okay, good.
We see Indy teaching his last class, and we see all the students, and then she's in the back row, and she's yelling out all the answers. And I'm watching that scene, and I'm thinking, okay, she's far and away, like, way beyond any of these students. And I'm thinking she's like, I don't know, like 35. Just in that one scene.
Well, she doesn't look like she's 20.
Maybe like 30. Maybe she's like 30
Yeah.
or something. And so then when she says here that she just graduated, I was just curious. She says she's going to go on and get her doctorate. But I'm wondering, so did she just finish her master's or did she just graduate college? And then if she did, from where?
Well, I also like that she says she's researching a doctorate. Like it sounds like I'm researching, thinking about getting a doctorate.
Yeah.
If I were going to
Right,
do
right.
a doctorate, it might be about this.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
a
know.
good question.
It feels like she could have just finished her 4 years of college.
Yeah, she just finished Oxford. She just finished school at Oxford.
And it just took
Is it-
forever
yeah,
because her
okay.
dad's crazy, or we don't even really know where Baz is, if he's like alive or anything. I don't.
Or
I
she's
guess-
supposed to be 22 in this, or 21.
Oh, that's a really good
Yeah,
question.
maybe she is.
I mean, yeah.
But then that picture would have been taken like how long ago?
6 years ago. Yeah.
For some reason that doesn't. No.
Yeah.
No,
wait
that's
a minute.
weird.
Wait a minute. Yeah, that's weird. Okay, it's 1968.
Well, if she's 22, that
Or
picture was like 6 years ago, but 8 years ago. But yeah.
Phoebe Waller-Bridge, as we record this, is 39 years old. So if she's playing anywhere close to her age, 2 or 3 years ago,
Yeah.
she's in her mid-30s. And maybe it's like I don't know, she just took forever
Yeah.
getting her degree. I don't know.
Oh, sure.
Because I don't,
Or
yeah,
ma-
I
or,
don't,
she said she just. I mean, maybe she has like 5 degrees.
yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe she just graduated like for the 5th time.
She didn't want all the fanboys to call her Mary Jane or Mary Sue or whatever, so
Yeah.
she made sure to get degrees and everything. She can fly a rocket ship, she can do archaeology, she can cook, she can steer a boat.
Why is Indy so surprised when he says, "What's your subject?" It's a weird way he phrased it. Like, "What's your subject?" And it's a weird way she answers it. She says the Archimedes style.
Uh-huh.
But he's like, "What do you know about that?" Like he seems really surprised that she knows anything about it. But literally 5 minutes ago, he was talking about, like, his lecture was all about it, and she was
Yeah.
also answering questions about it. It seems weird that what?
Well, 2
You've
things.
heard of
One,
this?
I'm not convinced that he knows that that's the girl who was in his class just now.
Oh, that's
Like
a
he
good
may have
point.
just he may have just missed that. And 2,
Oh,
he
weird.
seems less like surprised and more like even before she brings that up, there's like a sense to him of like, I don't know. Like there's some sort of like sense of like not dread, but kind of
Uh-huh.
like he's like wary of her. I think he's like, okay, here's Wombat.
Yeah.
She's off on a tangent. She's shot out of a cannon. I don't know what she's up to. Oh my God, she just mentioned the Antikythera. I knew it. I knew it was going to end up like being like this. She's got a bone in her mouth. She's going nuts. Yeah, so it's less surprise and more like, oh boy.
Well,
here we go.
I wanted some kind of connection to land here at some point when she was talking about following her dad between him and his dad.
Oh sure. Oh, that
Oh
would
well,
be
well,
nice.
I mean, there very much is. I think. I mean,
Okay.
well, at least you see it on Indy's face.
Yeah.
It's at the end of this little sequence, but also as we go into the next minute too. It's at the beginning of the next sequence
I
that
haven't
we're
watched
gonna
that far
do.
yet. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. At least they don't club you over the head with it, but I think you can clearly see on Indy's face, and by what they do following this scene, that he's like, yeah, I get it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's at the very
Yeah.
end of this of these 3 minutes,
Yeah.
but you know,
It's there if you know it's there, kind of thing.
yeah, it's there.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I actually think that the acting is terrific.
He's really awesome in this
Yeah.
scene.
No,
He
he's
is.
he's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think she's good. I don't quite
Oh, yeah.
get it. I think I just wish her character were something a little different.
I
Well,
do
okay, so-
think. Oh no,
Yeah,
go ahead.
go ahead.
No, you go.
Well, Tommy, so she says, she gives him the whole spiel. Like,
Right.
so let's go get it. She pulls out the map, and it says it's going to be right here. And there's only one river, only one bridge, and
Yeah.
one river in the Alps. We're going to go right there. And he's like,
And I'm going to describe a really exciting movie where we go on this treasure hunt and we're going to go searching
Yeah.
for this thing.
yeah. It'll be a
but
big
she,
hit.
I mean, there's a line she says that stands out, both as her character and also just in the movie in general. It's a very strange choice. She says, "Find it, and I become famous."
yeah.
Renowned
Yeah.
or faded.
Faded. Yeah.
Yeah, and you're kind of like, okay, so I'm looking at this and I'm like, this is very, very, very on the nose.
A little bit. Yeah.
Yeah,
She said like
I'm trying
Lucy
to.
from Peanuts or something.
Yeah, it sounds like Lucy from Peanuts. Oh my God, it does sound like Lucy.
That's amazing.
That's perfect.
Oh,
Nichols,
man.
Nichols,
Someone
Nichols.
needs to, someone needs to put this line into a Lucy animation. That's amazing.
And so, but what's strange is you're like, oh, okay, so that's a clear red flag. It's such a crimson flag
Right.
that she's like, oh wait, no, I become renowned. Or
I mean, Indiana
faded.
Jones will be famous again. Yeah.
Yeah, and or we will. Yeah, and so you're like, is this her character's raison d'etre, or is this what she's seeking? Like, is this just a callback to the fame, fortune, that line? Is this a Temple of Doom line? Fortune and glory, kid.
It kind of might be. Yeah. I mean, I kind of forget what her actual. I don't know if it gets more defined. Like, is it money or is it fame or is it the thrill of the chase or something?
Pay off gambling debts or something.
Yeah, right. Or her dad's legacy is driving her to
Yeah.
whatever. But yeah, right now it does seem a little like, oh, did I say famous? Oh, I meant for the better, understanding history and yeah.
Well, she says Indiana Jones, and it made me like I have a famously bad memory, and I don't know, like I can never remember stuff that's in movies. But does anybody ever call him Indiana Jones who was not in Raiders? This is the first time outside of Raiders or outside of a character from Raiders that someone calls him Indiana Jones.
Wow.
Wow, that's great.
Wow.
Because it sounded weird. Like it's not something you hear in these
It does
movies
sound a
other
little.
than,
It's like she calls him James
Marion
Bond or
saying
something.
it, or I think
Yeah.
I feel like maybe Sala says it, but otherwise I don't remember people saying Indiana Jones.
The closest thing I can think of right now, and I can hear people yelling at us. We were probably missing something. But
what about this scene? What
But
about this?
Indy
Yeah.
introduces himself as Indiana Jones to Chatter Lal, and Chatter Lal immediately recognizes that and says, "Oh my gosh, you're the Dr. Jones from Oxford or whatever." And he, so that's like a close. But I don't know if he says Indiana Jones.
Or if he says Dr. Jones,
I think he just says Dr. Jones. Yeah, maybe.
yeah. I feel like he says Dr. Jones, but I'm probably wrong.
No,
It just sounded weird. Like
it does.
It
I know what
sounded
you mean.
like it's like you don't often hear the title of the movie, or you
Yeah.
don't often hear the. Like it's funny. Like it wasn't. It sounded a little strange.
Well, so why doesn't she say we become famous? Is he already famous?
I think she's just. I think her plan is just to take off with it. Like I think she's just.
But the way she says it does sound like, in the way she's describing, like, one more adventure back in the saddle and all this stuff, it does make it sound like that's who he is a guy who's at least marginally famous for being in the saddle and doing stuff and having adventures.
But I feel like she only says it
again
after he looks at her after she said it. I'll be famous. I feel like that's the only reason she says that.
Yeah, that could be. But does
Well,
he see him as? Does he see? I think we've talked about this before. But does he see himself as like, oh yeah, I'm an adventurer. I go on awesome adventures and I have these amazing things happen, and I'm I haven't had one of those adventures in a while.
You know what's interesting is if you think about him in Raiders packing his bag. All right, where Marcus is there and he's like, what are you trying to do? Scare me? And he like throws the gun in and that you're like, this is what he does. Like around,
this is what he did.
Or what he did, yeah. And you think, okay, it's like 7:30 at night, and he's packing his suitcase with a bullwhip and a gun and his lion tamer outfit.
But he's not saying, I'm going on an adventure. It's just like his thing. It's just what he does.
Right. It's just what he does.
Yeah.
And he's very comfortable doing it. But then when you see, obviously, him by now, and I'm sure this was, the trajectory of the character over the franchise is, he's pouring, his adventure is pouring himself morning whiskey in his coffee.
It is fun.
And he's not doing any of that stuff, really. As a matter of fact, he's just teaching, but not even the classroom is bringing any interest or joy.
So when Helena looks at Indiana Jones right now at this point in the movie, does she see Marcus from Last Crusade?
Oh, interesting.
Like, does she see kind of a bumbling, kind of out of his element kind of guy, or does she see...
I don't think so, because she tries that Hail Mary, back in the saddle, one last hurrah, we're gonna go sis boom ba, and yeah, she goes, I'm not really selling this, am I? And she does a very good job. They do a nice job making it, you're like, this sounds fake, and then she also knows that she sounds fake.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't actually hear that very often in movies.
No,
people
you don't really
like
hear
this,
that very,
This would be played at like face value, like the trying to ramp up the guy and get him excited and stuff.
Right.
That's interesting.
And she says something interesting. She says, you're going to be back in the saddle and out with a bang. And I'm like, those are two opposite things.
Yeah.
You can't be both back in the saddle and out with the bang.
Can I just be back in the saddle for like a while and then get off the saddle having done something?
You just weren't in the saddle very long.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait, sure.
Why does there have to be a bang? Yeah. Okay, I do. Pete. I know you're not having a great time with this movie and stuff. I do have to say, in these minutes at this conversation in the bar, my chest gets a little tight. And my throat starts to close up a little bit. I'm like, oh, no, not again, not again. This is getting... Because she goes into this whole thing. So we've seen Indy and Baz. They get half of the dial. Indy hands it to Baz in the 40s. That's the last we hear of it until now. And then she goes into this thing about I wrote it down. In 1902, Greek sponge divers found a wrecked Roman warship huge off the coast of Greece. Below deck, sealed in wax, was a clock-like mechanism, finely tooled, purpose unknown. So what is she talking about? Is she talking about... Is that...
She's talking about the Antikythera mechanism.
I know, but is that... Was it the whole thing? Or was it, like they say in a minute, like, Archimedes broke it in half or whatever to keep people from using it or something. So, like, does this Greek ship that was found, or Roman warship that was found, did that have the half that we saw in the 40s? Is that where that came from? Or is this a totally
that's a good
other
question.
half?
That's a good question.
I'm getting anxious that it's all like I think it was Last Crusade that was just like, oh, what are they talking about? Like, this is getting so confusing. This used to be like it started off as a straight line. We got to find Dad and find the Grail or whatever.
Yeah.
And then there was all this stuff about like the crescent moon and the friar had the thing or something.
Yeah.
And the Knight
This will be
Templar.
interesting.
Yeah.
Because I don't remember at all where the other half comes from in this movie.
Yeah, I mean,
That'll be fun to see.
it's one of
I
those
just
things that goes right by you when you're watching the movie. I've seen it 3
Yeah.
or 4 times, and but when you're listening to this stuff and paying attention to it, you're like, oh, wait a minute, I've totally.
Well,
That's
missing
that's
half.
the whole tennis proceeding.
Yeah.
right.
That's what it is. I don't. So
It's a digging in the wrong place style at the moment.
don't they? So they find half of the Antikythera. The Greek sponge divers find half of it,
I guess. I honestly
and
don't know.
I know where the other half is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean I know because I remember.
Right.
Oh,
right.
Right.
But we also saw.
Oh, I do. Now I remember.
Oh,
Yeah,
maybe
'cause
I do too. Okay.
He hit
I
it
will
during the
see.
siege
So-
of Syracuse.
Yeah.
Oh wait, that doesn't make sense. So they didn't
Well,
find
so
it till they
but
get to Syracuse.
the one thing is that. Well, I guess I was thinking they said that Indy threw it in the river or whatever. What's so strange? She says they threw it in the river.
Yeah.
Or
She's
maybe
like, oh yeah.
Baz-
She says that
Yeah.
Baz told her that they lost it in the river on that train.
Right, but now why is that true? I have to watch that scene again. Doesn't he?
It's not true. He hands it to him. He hands
He
it to
hands
Baz.
he hands the Antikythera to Baz.
So Baz
was-
told Helena that that they lost it, that it was in that river.
Yeah.
No,
Yes.
did it? That story's not true though, because wasn't it a whole Antikythera earlier in this movie, and then it broke when they were fighting on the train?
No. It was always half.
It was all. So that it
Right?
didn't.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh,
Fuller had half, and then they took it from him, and
They took the whole thing.
no, just that. It was all we've seen so far is a half.
Well, but doesn't Indy say, well, half of it anyway? Like after Baz asks if he has it, and he says, well, half of it anyway. I think I assume
Yeah.
that maybe Mickelson Fuller
Why,
had the other
wait
half.
a minute. Why did Baz mislead Helena?
Yeah, I
into
don't know.
Thinking
Oh, unless okay, wait. Since
you know what? He didn't
Helena's
want
not
us-
totally on the up and up, she might be playing Indy and saying, and Baz didn't tell her that. This is what weirds me out, because we do find out in the course of things that she's not being totally honest. But then the movie in this scene, like, literally gets out a map with an X on it and
Yeah.
stuff, and she goes into this whole detailed thing, almost as if you're like going through the Valley of the Crescent Moon or whatever. They've spent all this time on something that we know isn't true. Like, we know that even half of the Antikythera isn't in that river anymore. So why does the movie even spend 30 seconds on getting out a map and everything? Even if it is because she's misleading him, it seems it's messing me up that she gets out a map.
do
I'm
you
like all
think that-
confused and frightened.
Maybe Baz was like, I don't want my daughter getting famous.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, forget about
And
it.
he
It's
lied
in
to
a
her.
river in the Alps. Yeah.
I want you to die in obscurity, darling.
Yeah. Or maybe Baz was like, you know what? I don't want my daughter going insane.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to
Yeah.
tell her that it's lost in the river and we never found it. So
Yeah.
she doesn't pursue it.
Right. That could be.
Yeah, Baz, I mean, either Baz didn't tell her the truth or she's lying to Indy right now, but then I'm trying to think. You're like, but dude, Indy was there. He's going to know that he pulled it out of the river or held on to it
Yeah,
himself.
that's true. Yeah.
He's going to know. And by the way, we all know Indiana Jones is not leaving half of the Antikythera just in the bottom of the river like,
Right.
I mean, if you know anything about him, even
Mm-hmm.
if you're just Wombat, you know he's probably not going to do that.
Right.
Yeah.
That is really weird. Like maybe it is part of like that. Like I said, like he's got this sort of sense of like wariness about her. So like he doesn't immediately say like, "Oh, actually, you know what? It's not at the bottom of that river." 'Cause,
Well, he says, "What do you know about it?"
Right. Right.
Yeah. I mean, that's him. Yeah, I guess he's kind of fishing around.
Yeah. I like the interplay between them here, but I wish that what they were doing and saying was a little straighter, a little clearer. Because it's even knowing like what happens in a couple of scenes, I'm like, no wait, why did he say that now, and why did she say that then? You know, it's a little, I don't know. I'm losing it a little bit, but I'm gonna be okay.
Do we have any other callbacks to family members from previous movies?
Yeah. Do you have any old pictures of you and family members, Jerry, or messages, or something with a thing and a?
No, I'm not.
Oh, that's too bad.
I'm not really.
Well, everyone.
I'm not really.
What?
Wait a minute.
Oh my God.
Let's see.
That's the best part of every episode.
There we go. Oh, that's nice of you, Pete.
Aw.
What's it been, like 13 years? Yes, this just in from Professor Christy Porter.
Oh.
Let me see here. Oh,
Oh.
an interesting one. What would you like the villain to be, or how would you like the villain to be in Indy 6?
Oh. God, really? Wait, what?
Because, we're talking. Okay, we're talking a little bit. I think where this is coming from, we're talking a little bit about Fuller and what kind of guy he is.
Can we say not the screenwriter? Or can we...
Hey.
Heyo.
Hey-o. Yeah, talking about like what type of guy he. Okay, so he's not like. I feel like in Last Crusade we kind of had some Hogan's Heroes Nazis.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Whoop, 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 whoop. What do we? This is definitely not that type of Nazi. This guy is very sinister, and he's not. He's not as. He's not tote-like either.
Right.
This guy's less cartoony than the previous previous
Oh,
Nazis.
a lot
Yes.
so, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Huh.
God, you know what'd be
And-
cool in Indy 6 is if he is if they go like full, parallax view or something, and it's just Indy against the United States government and like American
Oh, wow.
spies and American
Yeah.
agents, and he's the bad guy and they're after him, and he sees what the top men are really up to and he doesn't like it.
I just said something that I was suddenly wondering if that's one of the things that's bothering me about this movie is that
What's
it's
that?
not the villains are not at all cartoony. And in every other one of these movies, they are a little bit cartoony.
Yeah.
But that's sort of part of the romp. Does this feel more just like a regular run-of-the-mill action movie because they're regular run-of-the-mill bad guys? Like they're not.
There
Well,
does
okay.
seem to
Quirky
be a
and weird.
trend with like, and I've been thinking about this with like the Daniel Craig James Bond movies. Like, and I didn't make this up at all. I'm sure I'm not the only person thinking about this, but they're really good. But they're not like Roger Moore at all. There's like no like goofishness. There's no silliness. There's no kind of fun light stuff. It's like it's very straight and very serious and very good. They're all really good. And it feels like that's like the trend, like for maybe especially for things that we grew up with like through the 70s and 80s or something. If they go back to it, they have to treat it a little heavier.
They had a long arc in which they could sort of make that transition. I feel like this made the transition real fast from
But I think it's
the last
I think
movie to
it's
this one.
I think that series and even just in the indie over 5 movies, I think it's the movies kind of reflect where American movies are at the time.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like, Raiders
that's
is like
a
a
good
cool
point.
70s movie. Temple of Doom and Last Crusade, they're kind of like, blockbusters are a regular thing now, and these are kind of regular movies and stuff. And now this one is kind of, audiences are more, I don't know if astute is the word, but they want it to be treated a little more seriously. They're not going to suspend their disbelief so much.
I guess, but to
they
me,
want
this
they don't
is-
want a mustache twirling villain. They want it like an actual guy.
Kind of, to me, this maybe something that's not landing about this movie, and I wonder if it is that it's just too much like every other movie. Like it doesn't. There's not a lot that makes it a little special. A little like it. Maybe it's just missing that Spielberg magic, but it's maybe that magic is that things are a little bit quirky. Things are a little bit off from
maybe.
reality.
I'm gonna say, I mean, Tommy, I know exactly what you're talking about with the movies like Daniel Craig, and the last 20, 25 years, things have been getting darker, and like Joker or that kind of stuff. It's just
Yeah.
kind of, whatever. And I mean, I actually like that because
Oh, sure.
I don't know. Like Roger Moore is just like, God, man, this is really ridiculous. You know what I mean? It's just really bizarre.
But we love those
Like,
at the
you know.
time, and like,
Yeah, but I mean, we
Yeah.
love, like, when I look back on the '80s, and of course I'm a child of the '80s. I love all that stuff, la la la. But I look back on it, I'm like, this is really hard to watch.
yeah,
Like a
yeah.
lot of things in the '80s are just very cringeworthy, and just like they're just like bloated and swollen with kind of silly, ridiculous pomposity.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know. It's just bizarre. It's like really weird stuff. Yeah, like
Yeah.
Roger Moore's a
But
great
all
example.
The Indiana Jones movies all had that.
Well,
we loved them for it.
no, Raiders did not have that.
Right.
I think some of the other ones did, and that's the thing. Raiders again.
I'm not
I
sure.
will
I'm not
always-
sure. Toad going whoop 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 whoop. whoop,
Ah, you
whoop,
always
I
go back to
know,
Toad going
I
whoop,
know.
whoop, whoop.
And the guy on the
I
It's
know.
on
Toad and the
truck
guy in
and
the windshield, and that's it.
Guy-
Two little slips.
No, it's totally true.
pulling
Toad
the
and
truck
guy-
into the thing and closing the door. And
Oh, that was fine.
this-
That's cool.
That was
That was well
kind of-
orchestrated.
that's
It's
his
a
brother
little bit-
Omar.
That's
It's a
Omar's
little bit
people working as a team.
cartoony. It's a little bit. It's not mundane reality. It's a little bit magical. Is what I'm saying.
But
cartoony's a bad word, but it's not quite. It's very stylized. This isn't really
Yeah.
stylized. This is just sort of. This is just life, which I think I'm struggling with.
You know
what you
what?
mean.
There's a scene that just sums it up. It's like you're in Marion's bar, and the poker gets ripped out of his hand with a bullwhip, and the camera spins around. And he goes, "Let her go," and you're like, remember, there's no real music
Yeah.
to that. Like that whole bar scene happens sort of in silence. That is dark.
No,
And it's
a lot
really,
of these
I mean,
movies are really
that's
dark.
not
I don't have a problem with the
cartoonish
dark.
to me. I mean,
Well, I
the
don't
other
know if
ones are
cartoonish is
dark
the-
in a weird, like it's Temple of Doom seems dark, like it's sort of sadistically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's
I
a
think-
matter of dark so much as just like sort of, I don't know,
To me,
grounded.
it's more ground. Yeah, it's more mundane
Yeah.
to me.
and
It's
like
less
and
stylized.
or stylized, but not in a fun way. Like
Yeah, it's
stylized
more-
is like I'm
Well,
still
it's
thinking
a
about like
chase,
the Daniel
it's
Craig
more-
James Bond movies. They're more like I don't know, almost like 70s spy movies that aren't James Bond. That are
But
like
to
a
me,
little more
this-
serious and cool.
To me, this just feels more like a Jason Bourne movie. But I feel like the Jason Bourne movies were better. It feels like generic action movie a little bit. To
I
me.
think if there's something special to it, I think or what they're going for anyway is that it's Indiana Jones in one of these movies. It's Indiana Jones in a kind of
Yeah.
almost like in this section of the movie,
Yeah.
kind of like 70s paranoia kind of thing or something, or I don't know, just seeing him at a different time than you're used to to seeing him in a different tone, and pouring whiskey in his coffee first thing in the morning and stuff. Like I'm enjoying I'm like whether or not the
No, I
movie
do- yeah.
totally works, I'm enjoying seeing all that stuff.
No, I'm thrilled. You guys are both enjoying this a lot. I'm really
Yeah.
happy about that. I think I'm an outlier, but
This is one of those ones where it's like going through it as we are. I am sort of enjoying the nuance of how certain scenes are unfolding. I think the acting is magnificent, and that in and of itself is very enjoyable. I feel like Crystal Skull, when we went through it like a minute at a time. I mean that was just it was just sort of
heaven
complete-
compared to this is what you're about to say, right?
It was that well, parts of it were good. Yeah, parts of it a minute at a time were good, but
I was never bored during Crystal Skull. I feel like I'm a little bit bored during this.
It's interesting.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt your thought.
no, that's all right. I guess I'm enjoying this, but this might be where I don't know, maybe the parts are greater than the sum, a little bit.
I think there's a lot of that in this movie. Yeah, like there's a lot of little things I can point to that I really like, and then at the end, like, well, okay, but it was fine. You know, like
Sure.
as a whole, it's fine, but there's a lot of really cool things along the way or something. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see. I'm having an okay time. I like you guys.
I like you guys. I'm having a great time.
Well, if that's all we got, we can say goodnight to everybody.
Yeah. Or good morning.
Good night, everybody. We hope that you are having a nice time like we are.
Wait. I have one more question.
Okay.
One more question.
But I'm already in my pajamas, Jerry.
I know. But you'll turn the light out. Why was Baz an original? Indy says Baz was an original. Why was he an original?
I don't know. That seems like calling
like
somebody an original.
Sounds like a light beer ad.
Baz.
Original sounds like
original.
something. It's like a word you use when you don't know how to describe somebody, but you like them a lot or something. Or like, oh, he was
Or just like
absolute.
weirdo.
They
He
broke
was
the
real-
Yeah.
mold with this guy.
Yeah, well,
his hair was all
wow.
over the place. He dressed like he was from a cuckoo clock. He pretended
shot
to like
me.
birds. Yeah, he shot me once. He was a real original. There was never
He
another one
dressed
like him.
he was from a cuckoo clock.
That's awesome.
That is. All right. Now I'm ready to go to bed.
All right. Well, everybody, please get us a warm glass of milk, and please come back next time for minutes, I don't know, 34 through, what's 34? What's 4 plus 3?
30.
You'll figure it out.
Yeah.
You got a week to figure it out right here on the good old Indiana Jones Minute. I'm not selling this, am I?